Alright, people. This video right here basically is based on the parents. You got a mother and a father, right? With two sets of rules. Mother allows, or vice versa, even though most of the time it's the mother, allows the child to do anything and everything up under the sun. Dad says, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. Mom says, anything goes. So now, dad becomes the enemy when it comes to the child. The reason why I'm dealing with this topic is because I've been seeing a whole lot of brothers and sisters fighting over this. And I just had a conversation earlier today with one of my brothers on this topic right here. 14-year-old daughter. Mom got 14-year-old daughter having sex already. Mom got 14-year-old daughter smoking weed already. Anything and everything up under the sun. Dad wants to rule and regulate the child. Curfews, cell phones, internet, you name it. He wants everything to be regulated. Mom allows anything to go, anything to happen. So, as a result of that, now dad living in another household becomes the enemy. He's the bad guy, which is insane. Second problem I have with the sisters is, and it's a dangerous game too. Some of you sisters have a habit of making the daughter or the son feel like they don't have to respect their father. Not realizing that, especially when you're dealing with a little boy. When you raising a young man and you teach him that he ain't got to respect his father and he ain't got to listen to him, eventually what happens is the father says, fuck the little nigga, because he starts to resent him. Then what happens is that same little boy, you told him that he ain't got to respect the muscle because you have his back. Now, when he hits 15 years old, he's sitting up there choking your ass out in the kitchen and nobody wants to help you. You're creating a monster. The father is the authority. He is the ruler when it comes to the children. Even though it's really both parents. But the father is the strong figure. When you teach a young man that he don't have to respect the muscle, why should he respect you? What makes you think the first chance, the first opportunity that he's not going to rise up against you because he already done, or rather you done already allowed him to think that he could challenge the other parent? I don't care if you're not with your baby father, your baby mother no more. Y'all should never go against each other when it comes to the children. Y'all should never trash each other when it comes to the children. A mother and father, when you create this child, y'all partners into that child is an adult. Even if you in different houses, you still have to work together. And this is the reason why our community is so fucked up. Because these children are not being raised right. There is no partnership. Once y'all go y'all separate ways, it's enemies. Some of you females don't understand. I sit back and I watch y'all with y'all children, especially your little boys, little girls, whatever. You can't leave your children with Tom, Dick, and Harry all the time and think that you're a good mother. Oh, I needed a break. I needed some me time. Oh, I had to take care of this. I had to take care of that. And then wondering why your child is dysfunctional. Sometimes it ain't just the parent that's not raising a child right. It's who you leaving your children with. Prime example. The little 12-year-old girl that got the hot water poured in her face. Hopefully she's coming along good. You know, my prayers went out to her family and still go out to her family. That little 12-year-old girl had hot boiling water poured in her face. Now, my question is, no disrespect to the mother, but as parents, we got to analyze who we got our children playing with. What was the mentality of that 12-year-old to actually pour hot boiling water on that other little girl? Who does that? I mean, let's keep it funky. At 12 years old, I knew well enough to know that boiling hot water will kill you. You know, when you get in a tub, depending on where you live at, the water come out so hot, you got to make sure you dapper in it a little bit just to make sure that it ain't too hot, it ain't going to burn your feet or your children when you put them in the tub. So when you know that water can be scalding, but you didn't just get water out of the faucet that was hot and throw it on somebody that was playing in the shower with the cold or the warm water coming and just throw it real quick. No, you actually went and boiled some water and poured it in a little girl's face. And see, my whole thing is with that, right? When you sit back and you analyze that within itself, nobody knew that that little kid was capable of that? You mean to tell me, before that little kid poured that hot water on that little girl, you're going to tell me that there wasn't signs to show that that kid had some mental fucking issues? This is why you got to be careful who you leaving your children with. You mothers run around and you leave your children anywhere, and then you know what happens next? Your child end up getting molested, or there's a flip side to that coin. Your child is being touched by another child. Parents leaving porn around the house, so they children watching porn, and they got little boys that like to play hump. So now the babysitter that you have or the family members that you leaving your children with, their children is up into any and everything. So now you leaving your children with these people. And your children is constantly being corrupted to the point to where that now they done picked up some habits that you got to figure out how to get out, and you ain't going to just beat them out of these children. I see brothers and sisters argue back and forth over these topics that I'm laying down. Man tells woman, yo, you fucking up with your children. Woman responds, how is that? You always criticizing me. Why I gotta be always in the hot seat? If you leaving your children with somebody that's causing your child physically, mentally, spiritually damage, you are unfit mother. If you're a father that's sitting back and allowing that and not saying nothing, because sometimes you can't just grab these females like you want to and whoop their ass. And there's been times a few brothers then grab these females and whoop their ass. But at some point in time, you know, you can't always do that. It does not look right. You have children. So what do a man do? He falls back because there's nothing he can do when a female has these children living with her and anything goes. Once again, you can't leave children in the house with kids that's touching on kids and think that you're a good mother. And you know these children do that. You can't leave your children in the house with dysfunctional adults. I don't give a fuck if it's your brother. I don't give a fuck if it's your father. I don't give a fuck if it's your mother. Some of y'all mamas done let y'all get molested, and they will let your kids get molested too. They will act like they don't see it. And if you know this about these peers that you have, that you're leaving your children with, you are destroying. You're contributing to the death and destruction mentally of your own children. And at some point in time, your children is gonna get when they're gonna know. They're gonna mature enough, even at a young age, to know that you're fucking up. And they're gonna feel some type of resentment towards you because they know better than what you're doing. Then you find out your children doing things that you had no idea that they doing because they picking it up from little Tommy or little Joey over here. And you know that these kids are bad influences on your children. But behind the scenes now, really everybody feel like your children is worse than them. Your children is just learning how to cover that shit up in front of your face. As parents, we have to come to some type of agreement where we set rules and we respect it. Mother and father have to sit down at the table and decide, listen, this is how this is going to play out. This is what I don't want my child around. This is what I don't want my child doing. And y'all going to have to come to an agreement if you're trying to raise your children the right way. You can't have two different sets of rules in two different households. It doesn't work like that. You can't tell my 14-year-old daughter that she can come in the house at 12 o'clock at nighttime. I'm not comfortable coming in the house sometimes at 12 o'clock at nighttime. It's a jungle out there. I'm coming to and from. I got to be real analytical, have my hand in my pocket ready to pull just in case some shit jump off. Because that's the hood. Every time I turn around, I'm hearing about some grown woman or young girl. It doesn't make a difference within the age being snatched by some pervert and raped. So why would you have? I mean, what is the reason for a 14-year-old to be in the street? How much freedom are you giving your 14-year-old daughter to have her smoking weed? I know some of you parents feel like, well, I did worse than that at 14. So that means that you're not going to put no principles and no guidelines up to guide your children. As parents, we have to agree to be on the same page if you want the best for your child. Stop playing these mind games with the children, letting them do everything that they want to do, waiting for the father to come flip, and the kid now don't want to go with the father no more because the father have rules and you don't. Stop letting the TV, the television, raise your child. Stop leaving your children in front of the TV and letting the TV raise your child. You letting your child be brain fucked. And all you doing is putting food in front of this child and clothes on the child's back. And outside of that is the television that's raising your children. We got to do better. A lot of y'all brothers and sisters out there, that call yourself part of the conscious community, need to understand there is no future without the youth. There is no future without the youth. So y'all got y'all priorities. Some of y'all got y'all priorities all over the place. March what? March your ass to open school night and make sure your child is doing the right thing. Because outside of that, I'm not really into getting blisters on my feet for nothing. If you want to change the world and make the world a better place, it starts at home. It starts with the principles and the morals that you embed in your children. It starts at home. Some of y'all trying to do too much. Oh, we ready for war. You're not ready for nothing. You're not going to. Some of y'all dudes running around there acting like y'all revolutionaries is placing your energy in the wrong direction. The best thing that you can do is water that seed that you done spit out and watch it blossom into a tree that's fruitful, that bears life and not death. I don't see how we can be proud parents when we got our 15 and 16-year-old children shooting the block up. That is a result of the mother and the father not being on the same page. That is the results of a mother and a father fighting so much to where that's, and I'm not saying all situations, but a lot of them, you got dudes out there that love their children. The man get fed up because the female is trying to rule with an iron fist. And one thing you sisters got to agree upon is that no matter what, I'm not placing the blame on all you sisters. Don't take it that way. But what I am saying is, if you know the man ain't there, on top of the fact that you trying to rule with the iron fist because he's living in your apartment with you, instead of giving that 50-50 of that responsibility to that dad, which some of y'all don't want to do because y'all don't want to lose your disability checks that you got on a little kid. Y'all don't want to lose your welfare. You feel like you don't want to lose your child support. So you selling your child out for that money. And then when it comes time for y'all to build, to shape and mold this child into something beautiful that's fruitful, it's not happening like that. The man is getting he's resenting the child. He's feeling, I'm going to tell you how he feels. I wish I never met you. And I hate this little bastard because now the kid don't like me because I'm telling you. Don't do this with this kid. You're going to fuck him up. You're going to ruin him. Don't do this with with the kid. You're going to fuck him up. You're going to ruin him. And you know what you mothers is doing? Y'all doing exactly what the fathers, the real fathers, not the niggas that's not around. Y'all doing exactly what we telling y'all not to do. And then it's blowing back up in both of our faces. So now you got the man feeling like, yo, I hate this little nigga. I can't stand him or you. Because he feel the same way about the father. You know why? Because now the father became blue and white. He's the police. Yo, this nigga always want to tell me I can't play my PlayStation because I failed my whole report card. Dog, you ain't supposed to have a PlayStation after that. Y'all letting these little kids get away with murder because you want the TV to babysit your children. Or if it ain't the TV babysitting your children, you got your oldest sibling who's probably about 13 years old watching the other 5 children. Raising your children while you doing anything and everything. All of the responsibility is on him. But then you got the audacity to tell this child that's raising your children, you ain't grown. Bitch, you made him grown when you put that responsibility that them daddies is supposed to be doing on those children. You made them grown. This is the problems. This is the reason, rather, why we coming up with these problems in our communities. Because the communication between the man and the woman is fucked up. The respect, the line of respect that shouldn't be crossed by him or her is fucked up. So at some point in time, if you care about your child, you have to meet your baby father, your child's father, halfway. He has to meet you halfway. Because if you don't, it's not going to work. If you don't, everything is going to end up the way that it is right now. And you know how that is? It's the grown-ass men that's my age. They scared to death of them young boys. They not going to tell you that. They scared to death of them young boys. Because them young boys is robbing them older dudes my age. They just not coming back home and telling you. They ready to shoot them. They call them old heads. They don't respect them. You know why they don't respect them? Because they daddies is not there. If you have a father, a child that has a father that's trying to be in that child's life, get out of his way. At some point in time, your sisters got to let that man do what he going to do. I'm only speaking for the caring fathers. I can't speak for the rest of the deadbeats. I can't speak for everybody. I could only speak for those who care. Mom and dad got to meet somewhere on neutral ground. Some of y'all females, I don't know, y'all chase y'all baby fathers away because y'all got new boyfriends that's intimidated. That's a foolish move. Because most of the time, your new boyfriend don't even give a fuck about your child. It's a foolish move. You don't mix the two. If that new dude that come along want to step up and he want to be a good man to those children, you work that out between you and him and the baby father, and y'all come to some type of agreement. First of all. Second of all, if you're going to let a new dude into your life, he should want to take on some type of responsibility with your children. If not, what the fuck is the purpose of him being there? If I die today or tomorrow, I want another man to step up and raise my son and my daughter. Sons and daughters. I want that. I want somebody to actually love my wife and my children enough to do right by them. I don't want a dude coming in kicking castles over and fucking my baby mom in the room and eating the kids' cereal and walking past them like, get out of my face, little nigga. In order for us to save our community, in order for us to have a future in this country, in this world, around this world, period, we have to fix home. Everything begins and ends at home. Some of y'all trying to skip past that. Y'all want to be revolutionaries in the corner. Y'all want to be bad bitches in the clubs. Y'all want to be drug dealers over here. Like, y'all skip. Everything is outside of home. It's everywhere else. In order to make this world a better place, it starts at home and it starts with the parents. Personally, I think that some of y'all dudes out there, y'all men and women, baby mother and baby father, I think the courts need to make y'all get back in a relationship again and make y'all raise y'all children. I take care of mine. Y'all need to take care of yours. Chicks out there, y'all done had 40 different boyfriends after you done left your baby father. Some of you dudes out there, you got 30 or 40 different females after you done left her. For all that, get back with your baby mama and raise your child. To be an adult that's prosperous, that gives back to the community, that's worth being a part of the community instead of being a part of the problem. That begins at home. It ends and begins at home. Let's do right and get together. Sit down. Write out that list, man and woman, of whatever you feel that you want for your child or you don't want in your child's life. And then y'all agree upon it and we meet at the table as men and women and shake on it. Because if we don't do that, we're going to raise, or rather we're going to have a race of children, of youth that's going to raise up at the throats of the same adults that birthed them. And if not you, it's going to be the rest of the community. Look at Chicago. Just look at Chicago. 33 people shot in 13 hours. Why are these children so angry? Those are mommy and daddy issues. Let's get it together, people. Peace and love.